welcome to SVG-TV News for Friday, June 21st, 2019. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. Phase 2 of Exercise Trade Winds 2019 officially concluded here today with a closing ceremony at the Victoria Park. Close to 400 participants from 19 partner nations, including countries from the OECS, Barbados, Bermuda, Canada, France, Guyana, and the United States, took part in the exercise. Organizations such as the Regional Security System, the RSS, CARICOM Implementation Agency for Crime and Security, IMPACS, Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, CITEMA, and the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, also played a role in the planning and implementation of the exercise. Over the last 8 days, participants were engaged in 18 simulation exercises throughout SVG, which were designed to improve their capacity to deal with a number of threats. SVG-TV's Marvin Oliver attended today's closing ceremony and files this report.
The culmination of Phase 2 of the Trade Winds Exercise 2019 ended today, Friday, June the 21st, at the Victoria Park in the way it got started exactly a week ago, with a showcase of flags and the vibrant colors of the uniformed military men and women from 22 countries who participated in the exercise. Exercise Trade Winds is a combined joint exercise conducted in 3 phases, focused on building the capacity of U.S. and Caribbean forces to better respond to natural disasters, as well as land and maritime threats. Participating countries look to improve security mission and humanitarian assistance and disaster relief response through an exchange of knowledge and expertise. Delivering remarks at the closing ceremony was Acting Prime Minister Sir Louis Schraker, who said small island states such as SVG face unique challenges due to its porous borders, and as such, the training will assist in maintaining peace and stability locally and region-wide.
These significantly affect the social fabric of small island developing states through the escalation of violent crimes by suppliers, dealers, and users of illicit drugs and weapons. Consequently, the training received in Trade Winds 19 is opportune and very much needed to enable and equip our security forces to deter, detect, and defeat threats to our region and partner nations.
Military Deputy Commander of the U.S. Southern Command, Lieutenant General Michael Flynn, said the training serves to strengthen the alignment and integration between partner countries, civilian and military forces. He said the exercises also lay the foundation for the creation of a multinational task force, which will help to improve the security of the hemisphere.
This combined task force, led throughout this exercise by Lieutenant Colonel Carmichael of Guyana, will represent a new security architecture created by our hemisphere's forces and our allies, and for our hemisphere's stability and security. This combined task force will improve our efforts to respond to a natural disaster, humanitarian crisis, or other transnational threats. Trade Winds 2019 was a major step forward for all of us. We look forward to continuing to exercise this combined task force construction in UNITAS 2019 and other major exercises and engagements.
Terrorism continues to be a global security issue, and Commissioner Colin John of the RSVG Police Force said the organization is grateful for both the advanced and basic training provided to the officers to deal with such threats.
The troops were trained or given the expertise to deal with conventional and non-conventional explosives. As regards hostage negotiation, we are equipped with the techniques to use communication to diffuse situations where persons threaten violence against another, whether at the workplace, at home, or in a terrorist situation.
Phase 3 of the Trade Winds exercise will be held in Miami as participating countries continue in their efforts to boost capacity and beef up hemispheric security. For SVG-TV Evening News, I am Marvin Oliver.
Assistant Superintendent of Police Junior Simmons said SVG is pushing ahead with its efforts to combat human trafficking and to move up to Tier 1 of the Human Trafficking Index. The U.S. Department yesterday released its annual Trafficking in Persons Global Report, which indicated that SVG remains at its Tier 2 ranking. Tier 2 includes countries whose governments do not fully comply with the U.S. State Department Trafficking Victims Protection Act minimum standards, but are making significant efforts to bring themselves into compliance with those standards. ASP Simmons said SVG's thrust in combating human trafficking is hinged upon the 3 Ps: protection, prevention, and protection. He said prevention is critical, and as such, the police has embarked on sensitization and training exercises targeting all members of the public.
It is always better to prevent something than to deal with it after it happens. That's the reason why we have been going to every nook and cranny throughout St. Vincent and Grenadines to raise awareness about human trafficking. We have sensitized all of the schools on the mainland and in Grenadines about human trafficking, including our community college and other tertiary institutions. We have trained and retrained numerous public servants, police officers, NGO groups, faith-based organizations, civic organizations about human trafficking. Human trafficking is now a curriculum subject at our police training school. So every recruit who comes training at our training school is taught how to combat human trafficking. And that's very critical, because when they would have left training school, it means therefore that they're leaving with a wealth of knowledge about what is human trafficking and how to treat with it.
ASP Simmons said law enforcement officers were able to benefit from the training provided under Phase 2 of the Trade Winds Exercise 2019, which dealt specifically with human trafficking issues.
Now, human trafficking is known as a organized crime, and it's very important that we have in exercise trade winds at this time in our country, because it also helps us to sharpen our skills in treating with crimes like human trafficking, because that too is also a transnational organized crime. And because our borders are so porous in St. Vincent and throughout the Caribbean, the more training that we have and the more collaboration and cooperation that we have with our neighboring countries, then the more effective we will be in putting a dent into this crime. So Trade Winds Exercise 2019 have really given us an impetus to treat with crimes such as human trafficking and all of the other crimes there are.
ASP Simmons said partnerships is key and thanked government ministries, including the Office of the Prime Minister, as well as NGOs for their support in the fight against human trafficking here in SVG. He said the ultimate goal is for SVG to reach Tier 1.
I thank our NGO partners. They are very critical in this fight against human trafficking. Partners like the SVG Human Rights Association, the National Women's Council, the Seroptimus of St. Vincent and Grenadines, and other partners, the ministries of Gender Affairs, Foreign Affairs, National Security, Health, Education. Cumulatively, all of us have done our part to ensure that St. Vincent and Grenadines is doing its part on the global stage to combat this brutal phenomenon known as human trafficking. Our aim was really to be on Tier 1. However, we are not there, but we are still grateful that we remain on the Tier 2. But our ultimate goal is to get to Tier 1, because that is the best ranking list.
In an effort to improve the public service in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, public servants from various ministries today took part in a symposium which sought to address several issues regarding gender and diversity. The symposium, which was organized by the Public Service Reform Unit and the Gender Affairs Division, also sought to sensitize public servants on how to implement, design, and execute government projects. Director of the Public Service Reform Unit, Clarence Harry, said he is optimistic that after today's session, persons would be in a better position to understand their roles as public servants.
Colleagues, I am hopeful that as we go through this session this morning, we're going to have a very robust discussion on the issue of gender and diversity, and let us see how we can incorporate it into our public service and make it a more balanced and even spread of both males and females.
Acting Coordinator of the Gender Affairs Division, Lafleur Kwame Harry, reminded persons that gender issues affect everyone in the workplace and persons need to be more aware of gender equality.
In a whole, we are fighting to be taken more seriously, as gender and gender equality is not only a woman's issue. And I did highlight this when we had our opening ceremony earlier in May. Gender and gender equality strives for equality for all. And interestingly, in St. Vincent and Grenadines, with a total population of over 109,000, there is a diverse mix across the lines of gender, age, race, ethnicity, nationality, and religion, amongst others. And these are also mirrored in the public service, its services, and the workplace as a whole.
Featured speaker at today's symposium was Dr. Halima Deschamps, who said information and data should be more readily available to the general public to guide government policies.
Results weren't available for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I would be interested in us thinking about what does the policy making and planning process look like. I appreciate that this might shift from ministry to ministry, from policy to policy, but it's interesting for us to think about what that means and the extent to which that process is inclusive and focuses on those individuals for whom the policy is meant to affect, or at least engages those individuals.
Today's symposium was part of activities for Public Service Week. Sunday, June 23rd will be observed as Public Service Day. Persons who successfully completed their training on the Adult and Continuing Education Program in Zone 4 were given the opportunity today to display and sell their products. Zone 4, which is from Calico to Bayabu, had over 100 students participating in the skills training program. One of the teachers, Ensworth Kulzak, said that he is pleased with the work of the students and thought it necessary to showcase their work.
Well, because everything that is here on display has been made by the students. So I would say they did exceptionally well in terms of learning. We take students from September, which is the beginning of a new school year every year. And by next September, they should be ready for the wall of industry.
Our news team spoke with some of the participants at the exhibition, including a retired health worker who said undergoing the program was well worth it.
I learned to build things from wood and so on. I built a vase, a rolling pin. I plan to further my skill as I go on.
And about it is very easy, and I chose it because it dealing with colors, and I like colors. Screen printing is very easy as well. It's about dealing with printing shirts and using ink. Turn it into my own business and use it to help myself going forward.
Well, when I went there, I couldn't even thread a machine, but now I can sew. When I want something to be sewn, I have to go and pay so much money to do it. So I heard about adult earlets and I decided to join it. And I don't regret because I could do lots of things to make purses, roses, and everything like that. This is I made that skirt, I made that blouse.
Another set of secondary school students here has been involved in a brawl captured on video and is now circulating on social media. SVG-TV News understands that the fight between the students took place on Wednesday, June 19th, a short distance away from the school compound at the Camden Park industrial site. One of the students involved in the brawl was reportedly armed with a knife. The matter was reportedly dealt with by the school's administration and is being looked into by officials at the Ministry of Education. In recent times, there have been several reported incidents of school violence. The last incident, which was captured on video and also circulated on social media, involved 2 students at the Kingston Preparatory School. So this Carnival Beach is coming right up. Welcome to Carnival Beat. In Carnival Beat this evening, we continue to feature some of the Raga and Soca semi-finalists who will be taking the stage tomorrow night in semis to be held at the Solidarity Inc. car park in Kingstown, all hoping for a boarding pass to the Big Yard in the finals to be held on July 6th. Lamora Blamer Allen will be competing in the Soca category for the first time in the semis, while Samuel Stamina Smurf Thomas will be competing in the Raga category of the semis for the second time. Both artists say they are looking forward to tomorrow's event and will be doing their best for a boarding pass in the finals.
From the time we touch effect is Paw Patrol, no control, head bad up, doing the dirty dog and roadies, Paw Patrol. To air for all the artists, just come out, you understand, support us, you understand, cheer us. It really drives us, it fuels us, it makes us feel real great, you understand, to have that support and love from the public, you understand. So even if it's for bring a little frying pan and knock it and give the encouragement, please come out, support the thing, Battle Royal. Yours truly, Blamer, would be performing at number 4 in the Power Soca.
Hungry for your body, ooh, girl, I need your body.
I could tell you this, you guys need to come out and witness the amazing talent that Vinci have to offer from all the other artists. All the best to all the artists as well. And it's gonna be a really amazing show, especially with myself performing, because I'll be performing at number 12.
16 females will be competing in this year's Queen of Calypso competition this Sunday at the Russell Auditorium. President of the Calypso Association, Earl Cabba Bennett, said all is set for the competition despite some earlier setbacks in the hosting of the event.
As you know, the Queen of Calypso show has been actually scheduled. It was actually initially scheduled for June 7th, Friday, June 7th at the Russell Auditorium. But due to some issues at the front line, that is the brass men and them, because of the congested carnival season and their work demand, we had to postpone it to Sunday 23rd. And this Sunday 23rd promises to be an epic event. Yeah, we know many persons, but we thank SVG-TV. Please come out in your numbers. Come and support the ladies. Men, come and support the fairer sex.
Bennett said he is happy that this year many of the competitors' songs speak about women empowerment.
We have Chanel with a commentary about church and so on. We have Lady D, who has, when you think of Bush of People. We have Rolly, who's paying tribute to her mother died from cancer. And this song is a very emotional song. You have to listen and sit for yourself to understand what I'm speaking about. You have Jillian with Protect the Children. You have Cleopatra with Frenemy. And you have Sheena, with a fitting song, I Am a Queen, speaking about women and their virtues and how they are queens in their own right, and they must stand up and act like queens. So you have a variety of songs.
All right.
The Queen of Calypso competition will start at 8 p.m. with a special appearance by a Trinidadian Calypsonian.